Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture series on digital computer fundamentals. And in today's lecture, let us discuss about binary subtraction. So the rules for binary subtraction is given here. That is, when you are subtracting a 0 from 0, you will get a result as 0, and 1 minus 1 is a 0. 1 minus 0 is a 1, and 0 minus 1, you cannot subtract a bigger number from a smaller number, hence you take a borrow. When you are taking a borrow, this bit becomes 1 0. 1 0 minus 1 is 1. Now if you closely analyze this, 1 0 in binary is equal to 2 in decimal, and 1 in binary is same as 1 in decimal. So if you subtract 2 minus 1, you get a 1. That is how you are getting a 1 here. So you should read 1 0 as 2 and 2 minus 1 is 1. Let us solve some examples. So here, let me take a first example, 0 0 1 1 and 0 0 1 0. So this is nothing but decimal 3 and this is decimal 2. So if you subtract these two numbers with the rules of subtraction, 1 minus 0 is a 1, 1 minus 1 is a 0, this is a 0, 0. So you're getting the result as 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. Let me take another example. 0 0 1 1, which is a decimal 3, and 0 0 0 1, which is a decimal 1. 1 minus 1 according to the rules of subtraction is a 0. 1 minus 0 according to the rules of subtraction is a 1. 0 minus 0 according to the rule is a 0, and 0 minus 0 is a 0. So this is nothing but 2 in decimal form. Let me take another example wherein I am subtracting 0 1 0 1 minus 0 0 1 0. Okay. So 1 minus 0 according to the rule is a 1. 0 minus 1. I cannot subtract 0 minus 1 until I take a borrow. So let me take a borrow from here. When I take a borrow from here, that is, I am taking a 1 from here, there was only a 1, so nothing remains, 0, and this becomes 1 0 because I have taken a 1, I am adding a 1, I am adding a 1 to this 0, so it becomes 1 0. 1 0 is here, the rules is here, 1 0 minus 1 is a 1, that is 2 minus 1 is a 1. Now here I have 0, 0 minus 0 is a 0, this is also a 0. 1 0 1 was a 5 in decimal, this was a 2 in decimal, so you're getting a 3 in decimal as your answer. Okay, so let's take another example wherein I am subtracting 0 1 1 0 minus 0 1 0 1. So here I cannot take a 0 minus 1. So what do? I take a borrow from here. When I take a borrow, this turns out to be 0 and this becomes 1 0. So 1 0 minus 1 is a 1, 0 minus 0 is a 0, 1 minus 1 is a 0, and this is also a 0. So this was a 6 and this is a 5 and this is a 1. 6 minus 1, 5, I get 1. Okay, so let me take another example. 0 1 0 1, which is a 5, minus 0 0 1 1. According to the rule of subtraction, 1 minus 1, you can refer here, is 0. 0 minus 1, I cannot simply do a 0 minus 1, so I take a borrow from here. This turns out to be a 0 and this becomes a 1 0. 1 0 minus 1 is 1. 0 minus 0 is a 0. 0 minus 0 is a 0. So this is in decimal, which is 2 in in binary, which is a 2 in decimal. This was a 3 in decimal. So 5 minus 3, you are getting a 2. Let me take another example, last example. 0 1 0 0 minus 0 0 1 1. Now 0 minus 1, I cannot perform 0 minus 1 because I cannot subtract a bigger number from a smaller number. But if I see its neighbor, it doesn't have a 1. So I have to see the next neighbor. Next neighbor has a 1. So when I take a 1 from here, I get a 0 remains. Now that 1 goes to this. This becomes a 1 0. 1 0 is nothing but you should visualize it as a 2. Now from 2, if you take a 1 to the neighbor, what remains is 1 here. And this becomes a 2. So 2 minus 1 is a 1. 1 minus 1 is a 0, 0 minus 0 is a 0, 0 minus 0 is a 0. So this was a 4 and this was a decimal 3 and you're getting a result as a decimal 1. So this is how you subtract binary numbers using the rules of binary subtraction. That's all for this video. And if you feel that this video is useful to you, kindly share it with your friends, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for listening.